I do appreciate you guys showing up so we can talk about in this third lesson some of the things that we have been talking about with pitching, but we're going to introduce keeping time. We're going to talk about keeping time a little bit and why it's important that we know what the song meter is. On pages 8 and 9, there's a list of avoiding common mistakes. This is the material that my father wrote, and it overlaps some with what Glenn wrote. And he has 8 items, and I just want to look at them very quickly. I'm going to combine the first 2. So we're talking about avoiding common mistakes. And again, this is already some of the things that Glenn has touched on. Whenever you're leading a song and things aren't going well, what do? Do you just let it go? Or do you say, no, this is worth fixing? And when you have a song too high or a song too low, or maybe it's not going quickly enough, whatever it might be. So I'm combining these 2, 1 and 2. Number 1 says a song will only get better if the song leader does something. What if you're leading a song and you've got somebody dominating or they're dragging your song? Do you just let them do that? Or what do you do? How do you compensate for that?
You don't have to stop.
Yeah, you don't have to stop.
Well, you could. You wouldn't call somebody by name. You could stop and say, we're going to.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. We've talked about leading with your voice, how important it is that you recognize in church songs, we don't have a baton. What we have is our voice. That's really the means by which we push folks. We're going to talk about waving our arms a little bit today, but I'm telling you, it is far more influential when we use our voice to lift a song and carry the song. We've tried to demonstrate that. That's numbers 1 and 2. A badly pitched song is worth fixing, and you're the one who's going to have to fix it. No one else in the audience is going to be able to do that for you because of the position that you are in. Speaking of position, number 3, try to position yourself so that all can see your directing and then stay there. This morning we had a wonderful song service, but this guy, it's hard to keep him chained. And I don't think it's a big problem or anything like that. But he likes to kind of wander here, but you don't wander too far. And everybody can see you. So we don't really have a problem with that. But whenever we are turning around or something like that, that's not going to be good. Or hiding behind the podium. Speaking of tornos, you've got Caleb, who just a year ago you could hardly see him over the pulpit when he would get up here to practice song leading, and boy, he's growing up. He's getting tall, just like his dad and brother. How about this one? Maintain a pleasant expression. Why is that important? Huh? Okay, give him a mean, ugly look. Does the congregation actually respond to your mood? So I guess we could combine 4 and 6 up here. I don't think we have a problem with number 5, which is sermonizing. Somebody getting up here and saying, oh, all right, this is my chance to make some talks. And I'm going to tell you what I think about the sermon, or I'm going to tell you what I think about this or that. I don't really think we have an issue with that. But maintaining a pleasant expression, because people are looking at you and they are going to feed off of your energy. Keep your energy up. Is that hard for us sometimes, especially when we don't feel well and we're the ones who's supposed to be leading? We are leading. We're trying to help people be motivated to worship and we have to be enthusiastic. What do you think about that? And enthusiasm in song leading.
I love enthusiasm. And if I'm really not feeling it, I'll give it a little chocolate.
Okay. And the chocolate gives you some energy?
Well, yes, I mean, that's different. It's got things I even want to play volleyball too.
Okay.
My body just works better. But yes, you get a little bit of beforehand.
There you go. There you go. Something to think about. People are watching you. They are feeding off of your energy or lack thereof. That's it. That's exactly why I asked you that question. No, because one, you're not going to be embarrassed by me asking you, and I didn't call you by name. I just kind of looked at you. You could have just ignored me. Speaking of that, use common sense. Number 7. What in the world does that mean? You got to be able to read the situation. We extend an invitation song. Somebody comes forward. What are you going to do? Especially if the preacher's having a conversation and it looks pretty serious. Yeah, sing another verse. Something I said last week is I recommend on the invitation song, and I'm glad you did that, but just let a couple of verses instead of leaving 3 or 4 or 5. And the idea is that generally with that invitation song, somebody's going to respond. They're going to do it quickly, pretty early in the song. And if we just go through 4 or 5 verses of just as I am, maybe that's not the best time, especially after a rousing sermon. What about taking forever to get up to the front? As we stand and sing. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get up now. So be so. And we start the song, and the moment's lost. We're trying to motivate somebody to come forward. How did Shane do this morning? We'll pick on him again. Did excellent from beginning to end. Yes, we want to all start together. But with that invitation song, that's kind of a special song. We're using some common sense. We're going to go ahead and start it, and people will have to grab their songbook. They'll be listening. And my suggestion, it's something you practice. I mean, you're sitting down, you're sitting in your pew, and you kind of get on the balls of your feet, and you got your pitch, and you're ready to jump up. Just the moment that song announcer or the preacher finally is quiet, then you can jump up and start singing your song, is my recommendation. What about the invitation song itself? I mentioned this last week. It's probably a good idea to have a song that actually appeals to someone who is considering obeying the gospel. And it needs to be time appropriate because we don't have a sermon on Sunday night. We're probably not going to be singing, "Oh, Why Not Tonight," very often. That's just not going to be part of our repertoire. And I left it in the material because my father wrote it. We don't use a song board, but we could use a song board. We could use a digital song board. Now that's going to take some cooperation. That's going to take some forethought. And if that's something you are interested in doing, we could try that. My only thing is I would want to be consistent. If we're going to do it, then let's do it all the time. And I don't know that we have buy-in from all of our song leaders to post our songs. No, I'm not looking at you, Rob. Not at all. Not at all. This is the first time I've had a chance to talk to us about song leading. This won't be the last time. Y'all have had discussions before. I'm not trying to give you the be all to end all. We need to discuss these. We need to think about them. And song leaders will ultimately have to make the decision. But all of us need to come to some consensus together. It might be good just to get the song leaders together and talk about some of these things. Most of you are deacons anyway, not all of you yet. And it might be a good idea to get the song leaders together and talk about some of the things that we've been looking at. Yes, sir.
One thing that I think common sense is song leader is in control somewhat of the flow of what's going on. Sometimes we may have things go so long, whether it's a prayer announcement,
Okay.
And then, because I think the song maybe you get down at 11 o'clock. And so you can get up there and have 20 or 30 minutes to listen. You agree with that?
I would.
So when it's going along, then, and what I've seen before is on the last song for the lesson, we may have like a 6-verse song. We'll sing all 6 verses.
Okay.
And it's just, I think the song leader has to be some common sense and go, okay, I need to get Mark up there. Maybe I'm just going to sing the first and the last verse. Maybe I'm going to say, we're not going to sing the song, here's the invitation song.
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. As we get more sophisticated and we start having all of our songs on the screen, one of the things I would like for us to be able to do is have people trained, not just James, hopefully we'll get some others as well. And you could say, all right, we're gonna kind of, you don't even have to say we're moving things along, but it's 11 o'clock, 11:01, 11:02, and it's like we do need to go ahead and get Mark started so we don't get out of here well into the afternoon. And you could say we're going to sing verses 1, 3, and 4. Songs can be skipped even when they've already been digitally predetermined, but the guy back there has to have a heads up. It would really be helpful. And we're just not there yet. We're not there yet. Right now, you have total control. You could just say, we're going to change the song. We're going to do a totally different song. If it's set up digitally, we're going to have a harder time changing the song. But something to think about down the road. I feel a lot of cooperation. We've got a lot of talent. We've got a lot of people who are eager to help and participate. And we've got guys coming up who are learning how to do this. And in years to come, I have no doubt that Chase will be a very good song leader because you've got a good grounding. But we've got a lot of talented guys here, and we're blessed. We're blessed with that. I wanted to think about this idea of the congregation and their role so that we can look at it as song leaders. We're talking about the congregation, how they are to respond to us, but it's good for us to be aware of some of these ideas. Follow the leader. Follow the song leader. We want people. We expect them to keep up with us. One of the problems that we have, especially since we're not looking up, is people are looking down. And you're up there, and they're looking down. What ideally we would do as participants sitting here in the congregation is we'd hold our book up, sit up, and so we can see the music, and just there in our vision, we can see the guy. Look tonight when we're singing and notice how many people are buried in their books. That's just a habit. Can we change that habit as a congregation? We don't talk about it, but it is something we could think about. What helps a lot of congregations when they put the songs on the screen, there are pros and cons to everything. One of the pros to having your paperless hymnal is folks are looking up. And the singing is going to be louder. And wow. Okay. The singing is going to be louder. Is this on? Okay. And more enthusiastic, perhaps. What? You got to sit up when you're holding your book, though. You hold up your book, sit up. But we just don't do that. I noticed your mom did. I was sitting across from her, and she's one of the ones who does. How about just?
One of the things for me is, like, I see tenor, but I'm not as comfortable with tenor as I am with bass. So I've really got to look at the notes. I can't read my part on the song. That's why I'm walking this book. I can't read my part and notes up there as much as I can. I can't right in front of me. Even when I have that book like that, if I'm trying to learn part, I got to really look at those notes and pay attention.
Okay. Well, let's think about this one. Using the book too much. Now, here you're talking about learning a part, and it is totally different when you come to a song and you're going to sing the tenor part instead of the bass part. Try leading a song that you've always sung bass for, like you were talking about a couple times ago. Do we use our books too much? I'm talking to the congregation as a whole. What do you think? Do you think we use the book too much sometimes? We know these songs, and We all committed the words to memory, then that would be perfect. There are a lot of songs that we know well enough, or it may be one song. We'll say, all right, can you imagine doing this, Glenn? Can you imagine saying, now here's the number, but I don't want you to look at it. Let's just sing this song. Was it you talking about? Yeah, us facing each other. If we were able to, what if a song leader did that? Just kind of changed things up and said, all right, we've led 3 songs tonight. In our 4th and final song, this is what I want us to do. We know it. It's a song that we know really, really well. If you want to use the book, fine. Why don't we just look around at each other? And that kind of shakes things up a little bit. And it helps people in sitting in the pew to stop being as reliant on the book. And maybe it'll help with number 3. Ooh. Okay. All right. Right, because you can actually see people's faces. You can see what they're doing, for better or for worse. When you're up here preaching, you can see everything. You can see it all, for better or for worse. And what I would say to the congregation, and what I have emphasized in the little class we had on Wednesday nights, Singing with the Understanding, the words are what's important. We are edifying each other. We are worshiping God with those words. We need to concentrate on the words. I mean, there are some complicated songs that we need to practice and learn if we're going to sing them. But the focus needs to be on the words. And the problem is some of those songs that are harder to sing, they are great songs. They have the new song. That's a hard song to sing. It's got some really good, powerful words in it. They sing in heaven a new song of Moses and the Lamb. That's not easy to sing, but it is rewarding the time and effort we put into learning it. Okay. And so what have we been saying in our class? What makes a great song? Great words and music that complements it, that goes along with it and helps it. If it's distracting, if the music is just so complicated and it's just not worth it, that may not be a song we want to keep in our repertoire. All right, I was going to let Glenn talk a little bit about his idea for the spring. And you're not just talking to these guys, you're talking to others who might watch the recording. So keep that in mind. Let's just take a few minutes and talk about that, and then we're going to get into meter.
So my idea for spring, is this on? Yeah. My idea for the spring is for anyone who's interested in song leading, but also anyone who's interested in us singing better. So I would like it, when I taught the song class with the high schoolers and the middle schoolers, they asked me at first, the lady said, well, should we stay? I said, yeah, please, because there are 4 parts in the song. Y'all probably know 2 of the parts that the guys are not going to sing. So it kind of gives it a completeness. It gives the song all of the pieces. And to me, it also lets everyone who's in that class, who's not going to be up front leading the song, be a better participant in the group. And I think all of us have led songs. And when you look out, do you ever see everyone engaged, or are there always some people, it's like, let's, can we all get on the same page here? There's always some that aren't quite where we need to be. And I don't know, on the flip side, there are some days, nights, there are some worship services where we're kind of on point and the group is moving, and the singing is really going well, and you can feel it. And that's kind of my idea, is to work with us so that we kind of have the basics down and get a little more confidence and not only in the song leading, but in us as an audience, so that we're more involved and working together a little better. And one of the things that I mentioned to Mark this morning, these pews aren't locked down on the floor. Have y'all been to a congregation where it's made in a semicircle? When we take the kids to camp, when we would, now that I'm getting older, we don't do that anymore, but But when we would, that congregation up Brushy Creek, is that where it's at? Is built in a 180-degree semicircle. And the song leader's up in the middle, but right past the song leader is the other side, and they're singing right at me, and I'm singing right at them. And it's a whole different dynamic because you're looking at people sing, you're hearing their voice projected right at you, and you hear it better. So I don't know, in the song classes, that's one of the things I try to do is we put us around a table, and we're all singing towards the middle. You can hear everybody. We tried it going to the larger classroom, and everybody's facing the front, and everyone to a T said, "Can we go back to the little room? Because it sounds better in there." And a lot of it was not only that it's a smaller space, but that we're facing each other. So that's one of the things I noticed also if we do a home Bible study, and we tend to all be facing each other, but that we got some out of. So in the spring, what I would like to do is either on a Sunday night or a Wednesday night. I don't care which one, although I'd take Sunday night if I could get it. But depending on what the schedule is and what's available, I'd like to do a class, anybody and everybody that wants to. If it's big enough that we need to go in the adult Bible class, I would like to turn it around and make it circular, just so that we hear each other better. But touch on a lot of the things that we've looked at in these sessions, but also how we can become better and more involved from anywhere else in the audience. So not just song leaders, but as audience members, how do we participate better? And it also gives us a chance that we did in the last class where we had several times where people would come in and say, "Hey, at camp we sing this other song. If I print them off, can we learn that song?" Yeah. And in a smaller group, it's much easier to learn. We all learn it, and it's like, okay, next time there's a Wednesday night singing, let's teach the rest of the people because we've got a complete crew with all the parts. We know it. We can teach it that way, and before you know it, we know it well enough we can sing it on a Sunday. So just some of the ideas that I had.
What about COVID? Thought about that? We'll get to that when we'll just see where we are.
We'll see where we are.
Talking about COVID and how that's going to affect being together in that room.
If wearing a mask, I'd rather wear masks and still be able to be relatively close.
I don't want to sing in with a mask on.
I don't either.
I know. None of us do.
In the rest of the history of the world, the rule is you only been, if you're the sick one or if you're really susceptible, you wear a mask. Everybody else.
Okay. All right. What I have provided you is the last 4 pages of this booklet. It's the same exact thing. I just didn't want to reprint a bunch of booklets in case you hadn't brought yours in. So that's what we have here. There are 3 songs, and then I went ahead and repeated Glenn's list. On the screen, I have a screenshot from Amazon, just took this afternoon, of a pitch pipe. And I bet you can get them even cheaper. This right here is the pitch pipe, except this is an F to F pitch pipe. That works better in different situations. C to C is really what we need as song leaders. It's just going to help us to pitch the song correctly. Won't go into detail. Sometimes it's too high. The note's too high that you need, and you have to convert it to an octave lower. C to C is better. F and F to F are actually unscriptural, and we need to get rid of this. Now, I've seen as little as $5 for one of these. I'm a little suspect of them. Who knows? Why are they only $5? But $20 for this standard brand. But you're probably going to want to use an app. And Shane used one this morning. What is the app that you are using? Okay. I took a screenshot of the one I have, and I forgot it. It's called Pitch Pipe Plus. Pitch Pipe has ads. Pitch Pipe Plus doesn't. It's C to C or F to F. Pocket Pitch. Perfect pitch. Perfect pitch. Okay. Check it out. And let's look at page 11. Page 11. We've got, what we want to do is talk about meter, but we want to put it all together. This is from Hymns for Worship, which has the neat little code there in the top left corner, which our red book does not have. Our gray book does. E flat, what is that telling you? That's the key this particular song is in. E flat. So I'm going to find the E. And I'm going to go over one to the where it says flat. See, that's high. Here's the E natural. Can you hear the slight difference? If you blew the E and not the E flat, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Why are songs pitched in different keys? Why is this song in E flat? One reason and one reason only. You don't want the highs too high and you don't want the lows too low. What's the highest note? Those who read music, it's a C for the sopranos, but it starts to get low for the bass. And a G, as I recall, in this music, yeah, there it is. Helpers on the end of the second line. Really, in the tenor, E flat. You don't want to go much higher than an E flat there for the tenor. This song is pitched so that the highs aren't too high, but really it's more for this song, the lows aren't too low. If you are able to sing higher notes, like Cody is, you're going to want to pick some songs that go into that higher range. I'll be a friend to Jesus. I'll be a friend to Jesus. That's not a song I'm comfortable leading because I'm a baritone. I can't sing too high. You're going to nail it. You're going to have no problem with that song. That's something to think about as a song leader. Picking songs that work better for you. That's a factor because you're the leader and you get to pick what songs you want. E flat. So I'm going to blow an E flat. Do. What's the starting note though? It's the mi. How do I do this? So you do it. Do. Do mi. Abide with me. All right, you do it. Do. Mi. All right, very good. Very good. You do it. Do. Do, mi. Okay, you got it. You got it. You're just nervous, and I'm scaring you half to death. Sorry. All right. Look at the time signature. 4/4. What does the bottom number mean? It's telling you what gets the beat. When it's a 4, what gets the beat? The quarter note. So boom, 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 boom. That's the quarter note. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Let me see if I can black that. Can you hit B? Can you black it? All right, we're just going to focus on what's on the page here. Unfortunate for those who are at home, but we're looking at Abide with Me at the moment. Abide with Me. And it's 4/4. The quarter note gets the beat. How many beats per measure? 4. How do you know that? Because of the top number. So here's the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many beats does the half note get? 2. So you see I've got 1-2. So it goes like this. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. So it's got a beat. It's got a beat that keeps going. Does that beat slow down and speed up a lot? No, not especially not in this song. You can, but the idea is the beat stays the same. Now, when you get to the first beat of the measure, there's meant to be a little emphasis there. It's not like this. Abide with me fast. It's more, abide with me fast. Falls the eventide. Now I'm exaggerating it, but that's how music works. You've got a little emphasis on the downbeat, the first beat of the measure. Could this song have been written in 2/4? Abide with me fast. Fall. Yeah, it could have. But the songwriter says, no. It's smoother. Abide with me fast. Falls the eventide. That's part of what's going on here. How do you do this? How do you do your arm with 4/4? Well, Glenn and I talked about this, and you show them. Show them what you do, and I'll imitate it.
It's all about when you hit the bottom.
Okay, so abide with me fast. what I was taught, what I learned is to help people visually with the downbeat of one, each measure. This is one coming way down. It's exaggerated. You come way down, and then for 4/4, you come over to the left, you come over to the right. That's so this is beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and then this is the upbeat. This signals to folks, all right, we're about to come to the downbeat of 1. So abide with me, fast falls. Am I expecting you to get up here and start doing that? No, I'm just introducing it. If you want to talk further about it, we certainly can. So here's the downbeat. Abide with me fast. What's getting the beat? What's getting the beat in this song? The quarter note. The half note gets 2 of those. Look at the bottom of the page. How do you express this when you've got half a beat? One and 2 and. Do y'all do this sometimes with your music classes? 1 and 2 and. How would you do 16th notes? 1 and a 2 and a, or you got to divide it into 4s. This is just having. What does a dot do, by the way? Increases it by half. So a quarter note will go from 1 beat to 1.5. What about a half note? Instead of being 2 beats, it becomes 3. So 2 plus 1 equals 3, or 1 plus half equals 1.5. You knew that? Good. Excellent. And that's how these songs work. 4/4 is telling us, hey, there's a flow here. And we're going to keep the beat, but we do need a little emphasis on and then me, falls, tied, ideally. All right, I'm going to go on to the next song. There's a fountain free. 'Tis for you and me. Okay. What key is this one in? We blew an E flat a moment ago. What do we blow now? G. Okay, here we go. Do. What's our starting note? Do is our starting note. It's the do. It's the triangle. Notice above there's I've got a 4. 4 plus. How come I don't have 1? What's going on? It begins at the end of a measure. It's called a pickup measure. The emphasis, and this is how music works. This is just how it works. There is an emphasis on fountain free. This is an upbeat. There's a fountain free, 'tis for you and me. Let us haste to. So we're going to beat it in the same way, but instead of starting down, we're going to actually start on the upbeat. There's a fountain free. Can you just do this? There's a fountain free. You can't. But maybe we could incorporate just an upbeat whenever you have a pickup measure. This is 1 beat in measure 1, which technically isn't measure 1, but we'll call it measure 1. It's a pickup measure. That means we got to make up 3 beats somehow. Where do those 3 beats appear? At the very end. So instead of being a whole note there, 'tis a fountain open for all at the very end of the song, it's got 3 beats. It's a half note with a dot. Let's pick up with Thirsty Soul at the end of the 4th line. So I'm going to beat this out. Let me get the pitch. Know me, thirsty soul, hear the welcome call. 'Tis a fountain open for all. 2, 3. There's a bomb. And we keep going. Does that make sense? It's not that, we're just going to start. It's that we're starting in the middle of a measure. And it's going to keep going. The song is going to keep going. You're not going to suddenly be missing beats. What do we typically do, though, when we are leading a song and we come to the end of it? We have a long note like that. We just hold it. And that gets us off with our beating. Play with that a little bit. Think about, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe I should just keep the song going instead of, 'tis a fountain open for all. There's a living stream. There's a reason why you've got this flow going. The problem is sometimes when you do that, songs that we've been doing that with, that we're used to, they'll sound rushed going into the next verse. Something to look into, something to think about. Songs have a meter, they have a feel, and it keeps things going. It keeps things going. What is the danger whenever we aren't real concerned about meter? What can happen to the song? It'll slow down. That's the deal. You got this metronome. You can even get an app for a metronome. Oh, I hated metronomes with my piano practicing because I always got off. But you got this constant beat. Constant beat. And you set up whatever that tempo is at the beginning. You have it in your head, you know what it is, and you're going to beat it out. And it's not supposed to go. It's constant. And it's just how it's how music works. All right. Look at the next song, 273, I'm Not Ashamed to Owe My Lord. Look at the time signature for this. What does it say? 3-2. So the first two songs were 4-4. One had a pickup measure. This one is 3-2, which means what gets the beat? The half note. And this means it's going to be notated a little differently. Could they have notated this in 6-4? 3-2, 6-4 mathematically are equal. Yes, could have. But there's a reason why it wasn't this way. Is this how you're supposed to lead the song? I'm not ashamed to own my Lord. It's in 3-2, which means what's getting the beat again? The half note. And it's going to be, this is a pickup measure, beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm not ashamed to own my Lord or to defend his cause. And it has a different feel than I'm not ashamed to own my Lord. It's smoother, maybe a little quicker. Sometimes we lead 3-2 songs a little too slowly. All right, let's pitch this song. We know this song from memory. What am I going to blow here? You don't know? I'm not ashamed to own my Lord? What are we doing? This is terrible. A flat. Do. How do we find the pitch? Do, mi, so. Not for this song. Do, so, so. Okay, a little lower, and we need to practice some of that. Do, so. I'm not ashamed. All right, good. But it's starting on an upbeat. I'm not ashamed to own my Lord. And if the congregation doesn't get the upbeat thing, at least you will, and that will help you as a song leader. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'm not ashamed to own my Lord. And you might want to be, just because it's in cut time, well, not cut time, 3-2, doesn't mean it's meant to be led fast. It just means that the half note gets the beat. All right, I want to look at some songs in our book that aren't here. 717. You tell me what gets the beat here. 717, A flat. It doesn't have the little cheat in the top corner, but it's A flat. By the way, there are apps to help you learn how to read treble clef or bass clef. And if you want to learn the notes, I can help you. If you want to actually be able to look at that and say, oh, that's an A flat, I can help you with that. These apps will quiz you. By the way, do you see the circle of the treble clef? The circle on the second line? You see how that is on the treble clef, where the second line is kind of in the center of that bottom right circle of the treble clef? Okay. The second line is inside that circle right there. Okay, does that make sense? The second line, yeah. That's why, I'm serious, this is why the treble clef is called the G clef. Because of that little indication right there, the way the flowery sign works. Look at the bass clef. It's the fourth line The fourth line is demarcated between two dots. And that note that is on the fourth line in the bass clef, not true of the treble clef, in the bass clef is F. So if the treble clef has a circle around the second line, which is a G, and it's called the G clef, and the bass clef has two dots separating, demarcating the fourth line, and that happens to be an F, what is the bass clef called then? Not the G clef, but the F clef. There's also in music what are called C clefs, and they have totally different time signatures. If that will help you as you start to learn how to read music, the G clef, you can remember, if you can remember that that's the G clef, the second line is G. We'd said jibbity F, E, jibbity F, and what are the spaces? So E is the first line, G is the second line, B is the third line. I'm not asking you to learn the notes just yet. I'm hoping we can just learn how to use our ears and pitch some songs. But what are the spaces? Face, F-A-C-E. There you go, F-A-C-E. All right, not going to dwell on that. A flat, we're talking about meter. So what gets the beat? According to this time signature, the quarter note. How many beats are in that first measure? 1. So does I have the downbeat or does heard? Heard. So no, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I heard an old story. Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I heard an old. If we did it, I don't even want to mess it up and get it in our head. All right, so Cody, you led this song this afternoon. Why don't you just start this for us? Do.
I heard an old story.
Now you're an octave lower. So go up an octave. Do, do.
Do.
Yes, sir. You got it. Do. Start this song for us.
I heard an old story.
Does that sound? Okay. But you're doing great. I heard an old story. Is that 4/4? Sure is. Have you heard this song led like this? I've heard an old story. Let's keep in mind that the beat is going to help us. It's intended to help us move the song along. And if you've got a beat that's going down and it's just slow, this song could be led in 2, I think. It could be, but it's written in 4/4 for a reason. I heard an old story, how our Savior came from glory, how he gave his life. 2, 2, 1, 2. I heard an old story, how a Savior came. But it's written this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I heard an old story. It's the feel. It's not just the beat. It's the feel to it. And we want to keep this song moving and enthusiastic. Here's a song that 68. This is a song I absolutely believe should not be led in 4. It should be led in 2. So here I am disagreeing with the author of the song and saying, I'm sorry, your song should be in 2/2 because he lives. The tendency is for us to slow this song way down, and I like it to be in 2/2, where the half note is getting the beat. How many beats are in the first measure? 3. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I messed up. 1, 2, 3. Let me blow that again. Do, sol. Do is the pitch of the song. Sol is the starting note. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I sent his son. They call him Jesus. He came to love. Let's sing it quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm messing up. 1, 2, 3, 4. God sent his son. They call him Jesus. I want to change it to 2. I want you to see if you can feel a difference. Do, sol. Exactly. And that's another factor if you're trying to use your arm. God sent his son. They called him Jesus. He came to love, heal, and forgive. That's a totally different feel. I hope you feel that. But also, yes, I'm leading a little bit quicker. And we can just go a little too slow. Can you switch between 2-2 and 4-4 when you get to the chorus, for example? An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Make it a little more deliberate. Something to think about. 6-2-7. 6-2-7. Let's practice our pitching and our sense of meter. This is in the key of G. The starting note is what shape? Triangle, which means it's a me. That's what we didn't say right. It's a diamond. The starting note is a G. I'm sorry, the pitch of the song. I'm trying to hurry and I'm messing up. Do, mi, sol. This is why do, mi, so is so good. It's so helpful because the first 2 notes are one of those. Mi and then sol. Do, mi, sol. I'm in the way. Do, mi, sol. I'm in the way. The. How many beats are in the first measure? 4. So what is I'm starting on? An upbeat or a downbeat? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. I'm in the glory land way. Da 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 da. All right. I'm leading them a little quicker than I should, I guess. But we want to have that feel. We want to have that sense of rhythm and pass that on to the congregation. 8-1-0. If I come to a song, we haven't talked about this enough. If I come to a song and I say 8-10, 8-10, what I recommend is that you then spell out each digit. 8-1-0 for Doc or whoever, and then to say the title so that there's no confusion, especially if the number is within our supplement. So if you get up there and somebody might get confused, and anyway, you're not going to confuse with a big number like 8-1-0. So 8-10, number 8-1-0, Jesus loves me. This is not 4-4, this is 2-4. So what does that mean? Do. What shape is the starting soprano note? Circle. Do, mi, sol. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. All right, so there's the beat. I'm not going to keep beating it. But G in Jesus has the beat. This has the downbeat. 4 has the downbeat. Tells. Jesus loves me. I'm sorry, I messed up. Jesus loves me. This I know. For the Bible tells me so. That's how the song is intended to be conveyed. Could we lead this in 4-4? Sure. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. But it's intended to have a little more downbeat going on here. Is it subtle? Well, it is. But that's what's going on there with that song. I want to pick 3 more out of the supplement, and then we're going to quit. In oh, I love that song. I love that song. I would just try to emphasize. Yeah, I would. We'll talk about that one later. I love Christ Returneth. That is a great song. And really, what they're doing, they're notating it. It's really in 3-4. And then it's just got some holds that throw it off. That's really what's going on there. All right, three songs. S28, Supplement 28. We sang this morning. That's why I picked it. All right, you blew an A. Do, mi. Why would I want to go to the mi? Because the is that note. Do, mi, I am the way. It's in 4/4. How many beats are in the first measure? 4. So we're starting on 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. I will be very curious to see if this is new to you, if it makes a difference in how you feel like you're singing your songs. I'm hoping it'll be helpful. But look for where the downbeat is. Where does it start? And then try to keep that downbeat going. S52, this is in 6/4. Why are some songs in 4/4 and some in 3/4? Or 6/4, or 9/4, 12/8? Basically what you got is either the quarter note getting 4 beats in a measure, approximately, or you've got that that triplet feel. What beat does this start on? 6. Do, sol, mi. You see that there? Do is the key. Sol, the round note, is the soprano note, but then the second soprano note is the mi. Do, sol, mi. You just pitched your song in your head. You just pitched it in the congregation's head. Do, sol, mi. Everybody's got their pitch. But we now got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. One's far from God and dead in sin, no light. My heart. What in the world are you doing there? What if we did this in 2? 1, 1, 2, dun, dun. One's far from God and dead in sin, no light my heart could be. Instead of going by dun 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 dun. And it does make it a little smoother. We're about out of time. We're really out of time. I hope this is helpful. Maybe you can go back and watch number 99. One more. We'll end with this one. Number 99. If you want to learn how to pitch songs, you got to practice. You got to get a hold of the pitch, and you got to practice. And I'd be glad to help you. I'd be glad to help you do that. Some of you have natural talent. Others, it's just going to take a little harder. All right. I want somebody to pitch this song for me. Do, that is the pitch for the song, E flat. But what does it start on? Sol. So we got to get from do to sol. How do we do that? Do, mi, sol. Mi is the tenor note. You just help the tenors by going do, mi, sol. Well, that's the soprano note. You have helped the altos and the bass with the do. Do, mi, sol. It's in 4/4. Quarter note gets the beat. How many beats are in the first measure? 1. So what is going to get the downbeat? The or Lord? Lord. Do, mi, sol. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. The Lord told Joshua to go to Jericho and to march 7 times around. Am I exaggerating the downbeat? Yes. But that's how you keep a song moving. When you pitch it right, so people aren't struggling with singing notes that are too high or too low. And when you keep the beat in your head and help them keep it in their head. We will talk about these things down the road. This is not a one-off, we're done, and never again. I would love to see you guys ask some questions. Whenever we have a singing night, if you are willing, when you get up here and you want help, say, hey, Mark, help me pitch this song. I'll do it. I'm not going to make you. I'm not going to make you. I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I'm not here to browbeat anyone. I'm here to help. And I really appreciate your cooperation, your enthusiasm.